Yo, what's up, Slings? Alright, so today we're going to be doing something a little different. I want to talk about my top 10 favorite tarantula species. Just kind of take this as a grain of salt because this is my personal top 10 list, and these are my favorites. Now, yours and other people's are going to be different because everybody has different tastes in tarantulas and just kind of in general, right? So let's just get into it with number 10. Number 10 is going to be the OBT, the orange baboon tarantula, or also known as the orange bitey thing. This tarantula is stunning, known for its bright orange coloring, and when it pops up that magnificent defensive position, it has these kind of like metallic blue, kind of like a titanium tealish color foot pads or paws, and something about the way it looks, I love it. I think it's gorgeous. Now, with that being said, this is a very aggressive and fast moving tarantula, and it's not something you really want to handle or cuddle with, right? So, kind of be weary about that. I would say this is kind of like an advanced to an intermediate species, something that you kind of do want a lot more experience with, but in my opinion, it is something you gotta have in your collection. It is beautiful. Number 9, the king of tarantulas, also known as the Goliath bird. Magnificent beast is one of the largest tarantulas out there. There are some that, can kind of compete with its size, but it's just something about the bird eater. I don't know if I couldn't tell you if it's the first known large of its size, but in my opinion, it holds number 9 in my place. It's a stunning brown color. It is just so massive. It's the size of a dinner plate. They usually get to 10 to 11 inches, known to get to 12 inches, but this is something you do want to have in your collection if you can, if possible, right? They are one of the strongest tarantulas out there. They do eat a lot, and they need a lot of humidity. Also, the venom is not that potent, but it does have one of the worst urticating hairs out there, so you kind of want to be weary with this one. Still, I think number 8 is going to be the cobalt blue tarantula. Now, this beauty, it comes in with a metallic blue coloration with kind of a blackish body. You can it's like a light blue to a royal blue, but when the light hits it, it has this metallic shimmer of it, and it's just so gorgeous, okay? It is on my top for a reason, and I think a lot of people would have to honestly agree with me on that. With that being said, the cobalt blue does have one of the most potent venoms of any tarantula out there, so it's not one you want to handle ever. But as a display arachnid, it's something you do want to put front and foremost, especially when you have lights on it, which I do not say have lights on your tarantulas. I have one on mine right now, just kind of for this video, but she's kind of more used to it. You can see she's kind of covering up. The cobalt blue, though, it's something about it, it drives me crazy. I love it. Number 7, kind of crawling into this list, is the curly hair tarantula. This beautiful cuddly beast is a kind of blackish bodied, kind of a larger size tarantula when it becomes fully grown and an adult, and it has these kind of copper brown golden hairs that are known to be long and they kind of curl. That's why it's known as the curly hair. This does have urticating hairs, being a New World tarantula, but it is also one of the just kind of more docile and very good temperament tarantulas. Very good for a beginner, right? I almost got one a couple weeks ago. I decided to get this little baby instead, but if you are looking into getting into this hobby, I highly suggest the curly hair. If you do want to handle, which I kind of suggest don't handle your tarantulas, but if that is your kind of forte, then curly hair might be on your list. With that being said, I still think he is beautiful, especially when they are fully grown and there's just bright hairs popping. 6 on this list is the ornamental baboon. This beautiful arachnid comes in with a white and black coloration. It is a baboon, though, and from kind of my experience and what I've seen, baboons are one of the more kind of aggressive species. It is an old world species, so it does have more of a potent venom than the urticating hairs. I do not think that the baboons have any urticating hairs, very little if at all, but it is still something that you can admire and look at from a safe distance. I love it. I love the white and the blacks. Something about it just pops out, especially with brown and greens when you make their enclosures. And it's just one that I can't wait to have in my collection. Number 5 is the Antilles. This tarantula is so bright and so vibrantly colored. You have to love it. You have to admire it. If you like the more brighter and colorful tarantulas, also kind of the fluffier tarantulas, this is one that you do want to have in your collection. It does kind of have a very mild venom, and it does kick urticating hairs. So it's not something that you do want to handle, but if you do want it on display, I would highly guarantee that you will love and cherish this arachnid. It is usually a bright pink or red bodied, and kind of their thorax, where their head is usually like this green emerald teal metallic color. Something about it is just striking. Number 4 is the Brazilian red and white tarantula. This tarantula is so beautiful when it is fully grown to me. It has a red booty and white and black legs with kind of a white blackish body. Something about it's America in a spider, right? Just red, white. If you add a little blue into their enclosure, there you go, America. With that being said, this tarantula is stunning, and it is, I know I say stunning a lot, but that's really how I describe tarantulas. I love them and I adore them. But when white and red come together, you know how that is. It just combines, right? So having that on a spider that you can look at and watch as it just kind of moves around and burrows, and it actually hunts, it's just something you have to admire that nature has put out there. It is beautiful and honestly like a piece of art to me. Number 3, this little beauty right here behind me, okay, the Brachypelma hamori or Brachypelma smithi, Mexican red knee. Cuddly bears. I mean, where do I start? These are one of the most docile and just kind of a staple for the tarantula community. Usually, most people actually do have this as their beginner, and I can see why. It has a very nice temperament. It's very docile, kind of slow moving. Mine is still a juvenile, so she is kind of more skittish, and she's still very docile. But if you move too quick around her when you go to open her cage, and if you just kind of move her too much, she scurries, right? So as long as you kind of treat them well, they will treat you well. And she's never even shown any aggression towards me. When I was unboxing her, she did kick hairs, but she was stressed out from moving from the store. In pet stores, they don't really treat tarantulas the best because they're not experts, but what can you do, right? She was just stressed. This tarantula does have a beautiful black body with orange and copper hairs on their booty, and with a black carapace and brown on top, which each knee and joint, the ankles, all their joints are usually a bright orange color with black segments in between. It's striking when you look at it, and it kind of pops out because it's not one that you really see except for like the Mexican fire leg, the Mexican red knee. It makes you look at it, and that's the reason why it is a staple. Number 2 is the Goody Sapphire. I don't even know where to begin, okay? Metallic blue body with white striping and kind of this zigzag coloration on it with these yellow segments, usually around their knees and their joints. It does pop out to you when you look at it, and it is, in my opinion, it is a prized tarantula. They are kind of rare, and they are endangered. I think they are endangered now, but if you can get your hands on one of these, this is one that you do want to add to your collection. It does have a very potent venom, so I would not say to hold, handle, or even kind to touch this tarantula, but if you know what you're doing, have some experience, this is one that you do want to add to your collection. Ending this video off is my number 1, my favorite tarantula, the Brazilian black. This tarantula is the cuddle bug, the little puppy of the tarantula world, coming in with a big, beautiful, hairy black body. It is one of the most docile, large tarantulas out there. The Grammostola pulchra is its Latin name, and it is one that I cannot wait to have it as my dream tarantula. So that's my top 10. Like I said, take this with a grain of salt. This is my personal opinion. Yours might be different. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope I might have showed you some that you didn't even know was out there, and maybe you might want to get into this hobby yourself. Have a great day.